have here?
It's me.
My sister. It's been a minute since you blessed my YouTube.
Oh my god. I know. I feel so special.
What have you been up to?
Girl, working, twerking.
Right. Naturally.
Losing weight.
Yes, Peria. Look, stand up, guys. Look how snatched she looks. Yes. She finally found some stuff that's working for her. We're so happy.
It's in the diet.
All in the diet.
Yeah.
What have you been up to?
Well, you know, I just been doing me or whatever.
Yeah?
Yeah. In my new place. I've been working out. I've been filming. I've been seeing you consistent with the content.
You like it?
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, consistency. We love her. We love her.
Yeah. Trying to be like you.
Oh, stop.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm just like so proud. I'm like, yes. You better go ahead, girl. Yeah, you be commenting on every one of my posts. I appreciate the support. I'm like, keep going, keep going. Wow, I look really oily. So in this video, as you can see by the title, we're gonna be talking about some gay okay. Lesbo stuffs. We're a bunch of lesbos in these videos. I don't know who she's calling a lesbo. You're dating a whole woman. Like, get used to it. It's just easy. Guys, I have some really juicy questions that we're gonna answer, and this is our first time like sitting down and talking about this together. I know, which is kind of crazy. Oh my god, like we haven't even sat down and had this type of conversation on our own without the camera. Are you ready? I'm ready. She has no idea what the questions are. I know. I'm excited. I think it's gonna be good. Are you gonna be raw and vulnerable though, Nat? Because this is my channel and that's all we do here. I don't know anything but raw dogging. That's it. Okay. What juicy questions you have for me? We got some juicy coochie. What? Whoa. Let's just jump right into it. Let's do it. I just want to jump right back. Our first question is, what is the biggest difference between dating men and women? Damn, like you really just jumped right into it. That's a deep question for the first. Dang, can you warm me up? Like, I felt like I really took time to think about what do the people want to know. Okay. You know what I mean? We're not beating around the bush here, guys. There's a lot of differences, but I would say the biggest difference for me, the number one difference is there's like an emotional connection that is completely different. I have the ability to have a different type of emotional connection than I've ever had with anybody. And I think it does have to do with being with a woman, because it's not my first time hearing that, you know? I mean, of course, not like any woman I probably would feel that connection with, but I just feel like if you do connect, it's on like such a deep level, which is why, you know, there's like this ongoing joke that like lesbians move so fast and stuff in the community, because the connection is just different. It's so strong. It's like a lightning. Yeah, so you would say it's a deeper connection? For sure. Yeah. And I feel like there's not this wall there, where I feel like in relationships that I've had with men, and I've had like relationships where I was really in love, like, so don't get me wrong, it wasn't like there was like, you know, I'm comparing to terrible relationships, but relationships that I've had with men has felt like there was like some type of wall up, where they almost are like not willing to give you their all. Like there's some type of ego there, or there's some type of like barrier,
like
where
willing to be as vulnerable.
Yeah, where you know they love you, but you always will feel like you love them more because they won't show it all to you, you know? Yeah. I hated that feeling of always feeling like I'm the one that's more like just giving all my all to somebody. And I never really got that fully in return. And even from like one of my partners, he was like a really emotional guy, but I felt like it was so obvious that he loved me more than I loved him, but he would still go out of his way to try to hide it, which was like even a bigger turn off. It was like, you clearly are like head over heels, like you can stop acting now.
I feel like for me, the biggest difference would probably be, well, one of them, because I think there's a lot of differences too, but it would probably be maturity. I think women are just so much more mature than men are, especially like emotionally mature. And so like I find myself like when I am communicating with my crush, which mind you guys, this is my crush. Somebody commented in the last video like, why don't you just call her your girlfriend, da da da. It's because we're not girlfriends yet.
Yeah, slow down. Damn, give me some time.
Right. But I noticed like when I'm talking to my crush that like sometimes I think she's gonna respond in like a way that like men in the past have.
Men in the past just have one boyfriend.
But I've dated men before.
Yeah.
But I only had like one real boyfriend that lasted a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just always end up finding myself surprised, like, oh wow, like this doesn't bother you, or oh wow, like you're like really holding space for me right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Love that. I wonder if that has to do with though like the individual.
I mean, I'm sure because there's definitely women out there that are mature, like just like how there are men out there that are mature too.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's a known thing that like women are more mature than men.
Yeah.
They mature faster than men. So
Yeah, I feel like that's probably another reason why too women are usually ready to settle down way before men are. So like you'll find a woman who's in her 20s and 30s ready to get married, and some of them even younger, but I'm just talking on average. Whereas men, they'll be bachelors until they're 40, 50, and now they're like, oh, I want to get married to a younger girl. You know what I mean? How did we come out to each other?
you're so dramatic. I didn't come out for real until high school, but like I got caught having a girlfriend by Nat and Josh when I was in the 8th grade. So I feel like that was the beginning of the gay.
Definitely was the beginning.
That was like really embarrassing because first of all, you had no business going through my phone.
Was that your phone? I thought it was a letter that you wrote.
No. You heard my phone going off while I was asleep. It was a bunch of text messages.
This just sounds some like big sister shit.
This girl goes and picks up my phone and saw my messages from my girlfriend, and
I don't remember this.
Yeah, so
I literally do not remember. That's crazy.
That's so funny. I remember every moment of it, and I was like,
sure you do.
So like embarrassed by getting caught, especially because like me and her were being grown in the text messages, y'all. Like we were like being mad grown. So I just denied it. I was like, I'm not actually gay though. Like I don't know. I don't know what I said, but I wasn't straight up, that's for sure. But I remember mom telling me like, you know, I'm not upset at you. I'm just disappointed because like you didn't tell me, you know? So then I kept that in my head, obviously. And I was just like, okay, cool. So all I got to do is tell her. And, you know, in high school, I had my next big crush. And that's when I told you guys.
Yeah, that's like a crappy way to get caught. Like, first of all, in 8th grade in general, like if you were even talking nasty to a boy in 8th grade, you would have been like a terrible reaction from the family still. Yeah. So imagine this is like also just like
everyone was shook.
Like, whoa.
But I remember I wrote a letter to the family afterwards, like, I'm so sorry.
Oh, dang, not a letter. That's cute. Oh, poor sister. For me, it was a really interesting time because I feel like everyone had already assumed it for so long that I feel like it just didn't seem like such a shock to anybody whenever we did say it, which was low-key kind of annoying at the same time because it was like, wait, no, we really weren't. Like, when everyone thought it, we weren't. And then it's just like, yeah, okay. It still just didn't seem like anyone gave us the reaction that we thought we were gonna get. Like, what?
I used to call Easy her girlfriend. I'm like, you gonna bring your girlfriend? Now we get so mad. She's not my girlfriend.
She's my best friend.
So we knew before she knew.
You know what? I feel like everyone knew before I knew.
Yeah. Were you nervous, like coming out?
Yeah, I was nervous, but I was like, I gotta do it. I just gotta do it.
I gotta do it.
I gotta do it.
Did it help, like knowing that, like I am? So like. Or do you feel like you were still just like nervous?
No, because you were literally in a relationship with a guy for like 10 years at the time, so you weren't, I didn't really look at you like that, like, oh, well, Cena is, because...
Really?
Yeah, no. I mean, when I've known you for like almost a decade being with a guy and you were engaged to a guy and you know what I mean? It's just kind of like that was a part of you, but it still felt like I was solo dolo in the family with a girl, you know? Like I was even nervous telling Jazz because I felt like everyone had already asked me. So I'm like, I didn't want anyone to feel like I was lying. So I feel like I had to give everyone the spiel. Like it really wasn't like that at first, but now it is.
Yeah. So the next question is, have you met my new crush?
I have met your new crush and I think she's so cool. Actually, fun fact, we all met her at the same time. So it wasn't like she introduced her to me or something like that. We all met her at the same time and it was like, we were kind of like, yo, talk to her, kind of like pushing her to do it. What does Mama Rhonda and him think about us dating women? I was the most nervous to tell Josh, but he was also the most like just chill about it. That was really good to have him like in my corner. I feel like now, you know, it's become like very normal. It wasn't that Mom wasn't accepting. I think it was just more of like a shock, and you know, she's a little more old school and stuff. So I think it took time for her to like be able to wrap her mind around it, you know, especially like us going and like, you know, probably even having to be around other people in the older generations, like her family and her, you know, her friends and stuff like that. But now, you know, she doesn't even hesitate to like, yeah, my daughter's girlfriend, da 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 da, you know.
I never really talked to her about what that was like for her, that transition. So that would be interesting.
I'm sure, because think about that generation. Like that is not normal in that generation. So I'm sure it was probably a little uncomfortable for her. So it was kind of like a coming out of her own. You know what I'm saying? Like she never seems uncomfortable at all with it.
Josh and Mom are just really cool about it. I think there's moments where we kind of laugh about how everybody's dating a woman.
I was gonna say Josh will literally be like, well, both of my sisters gay. Like that's so funny.
He's like, there's literally no men in this family.
Yeah. Hopefully, you know, Mom finds a good man. So if you're a good man and you're, you know, 50s, put your application below. Right. My mama needs a good man. Which do you prefer to date, men or women?
Honestly, I feel like I have to say women because I feel
like that's crazy because you were literally engaged
to a man for so long. And honestly, a lot of the times it just felt like a sacrifice.
Oh damn!
But like, did like not in the sense like I'm not saying that like, you know, he wasn't a good person and stuff like that, but like more so in like the sense of I just always knew like all my life that I was just very attracted to women. I just felt like being with a man, especially when you're bisexual and like really bisexual, because I feel like a lot of women are open to doing things with women and stuff, but they're not like actually like
emotionally drawn to other women.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I have always felt emotionally drawn to other women and stuff. So I felt like dating him a lot of the times I felt like, and I would express this to him, it's nothing new. I felt like I was just kind of keeping like a really big part of myself like kind of locked away. Yeah, and like I didn't really get to like, I don't know, water that. It just feels so right in a lot of ways. And it feels so comfortable for me too in a lot of ways too. That it's just like, I don't know, like I feel like emotionally more secure.
I love that. I have a random question, but do you feel like we're always so used to you and, you know, your ex going out and, you know, you guys would be out together and the people would be, oh, what a beautiful couple. And like, you really only probably got positive reactions from people being too attractive, you know, people that is, you know, to society normal, a man and a woman together. So did you go through like a shock or having to adjust whenever going out with your crush, maybe being affectionate in public or holding hands, where you're just like, oh shit, I'm not used to this?
You know what's funny? I didn't notice that difference until you just said it, where like, yeah, I feel like me and my ex would go out and like we were all the time getting like compliments about being such a cute couple. And like, yeah, I don't think that it's the same. We get compliments like, oh, you guys look dope, like our outfits look dope, you know? But I do feel like people are more inclined to just be like, aw, such a cute couple. Whenever it's a hetero couple rather than two women. Because I dated girls before, like, I didn't feel surprised this time around, like whenever we were out in public and like holding hands and stuff, because I remembered when I first like was going out in public with like a woman, like it was uncomfortable how everybody would like stare at us. And now I feel like I've gotten more used to it. I just don't pay it any mind. But yeah, there's definitely a difference.
It took a while for me to like not feel uncomfortable, and I still get uncomfortable sometimes, like especially when I feel like I get the most uncomfortable around like really older people and like children. With children, I still try to be a little bit conscientious of like, at a certain age, I don't think anyone should be really thinking about this in general. People's
about
parents,
sexuality?
Yeah, about sexuality. You know, they're still innocent. Like, let them be innocent. You know, I'm like a big believer in that.
Do you think you're more conscious about it because you're dating a woman?
Maybe, but also like even if I was with like a guy, I wouldn't be like super all on a guy in front of a kid.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, either way, I'm not over here. Like,
I feel like either way, it could create thoughts in a child that is just like, be a child. I still feel uncomfortable sometimes. I think it's more so around like older people.
Yeah, older generations.
Or pervy men. You know, like,
oh yeah, that's one thing that I will definitely point out is like the type of looks that you get from men is uncomfortable.
Yeah, or they'll be like, you know, try to hit us with the, oh, are y'all sisters? No, you know we're not sisters. You know, or they'll like start flirting with both of us, and it's just like so uncomfortable.
Has Easy experienced men being like salty towards her and just being like rude towards her because she's with a beautiful woman?
I don't know if it's because she's with me, but she's definitely had a lot of like aggression from men, and I think it's like, it just shows how insecure of a man that is, because at the end of the day, no matter what she's wearing, she's still a woman, and you know she's a woman. Okay, I have a specific situation where it was clearly because of me. We were in Puerto Rico. We were going somewhere. Me and Jasmine walked out first, and Easy was on the phone. And like the guys, like they were drunk. It was like a group of like guys, like 6 big black guys, like come over, and they're like, yo, like, oh my God, what's up? Like, but they're like mad aggressive, like pinning us basically on the wall. You know, Easy comes on. She was like, whoa, what's going on? Like, like, you know, chill. Like, you know, they're good, or whatever. Yeah. Meanwhile, I feel like if anyone else would have done that, like any other girl or even a guy would have done that, they would have been like, all right, whatever, like, and just kept going. But they just started being so aggressive towards Easy, and it was like 6 guys aggressive on one girl, to the point where I had to get in between them, and I was like, stop, like, what are you doing? She's laughing and stuff. They were so serious.
That was probably pissing them off even more.
Yeah, and they just looked dumb, and I think because she was making them look dumb, they
felt dumb, so they were like,
exactly. It was like such an uncomfortable position, and it was clear they were just jealous. But
okay, so do we still want to have kids, and when, if we do?
Every time this question comes up, I feel like a deer in headlights. I do want to have kids, yeah. I don't know when. I wish I had at least 10 more years, because I'm nowhere near like mentally there. But then again, like the thought of raising kids with Easy is like exciting, and I think we would just have like the best time and be like really cool, fun parents together. But I just don't feel like ready right now because I have so many goals.
No one ever really feels ready, I feel like. Well, most people don't really feel ready whenever they have kids, but I feel like with like lesbian relationships, you gotta be careful with that, I feel like, because before you know it, like you can just be getting up there in age because you haven't been feeling ready this whole time. Because it's like more effort, like you gotta like plan it out and like really, you know, put like some effort in. It's not just a bing bang bop. You know?
Yeah.
So, but
what about you?
I want to have kids as well, but I don't know when either. I was in such a different place whenever I was dating a man. It was just like, especially because we were in like such a long relationship, it was like, okay, now's the time, you know? And it's so crazy to like literally feel the opposite now. I was like, now is not the time.
Yeah.
So, okay, so last question. What is our most favorite thing about dating women and our least favorite thing about dating women?
Why Why do you keep looking at my teeth? Do I have something in them?
No.
Oh. I'm like, I don't know. Okay, my favorite thing, it's so funny because these kind of go hand in hand, but I feel like my favorite thing about dating a woman is how just emotional she is.
It's your favorite and your least favorite thing?
It is.
Oh my god.
It's my favorite and my least favorite because like I wouldn't want her without it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it's the reason why what I mentioned earlier was just like that connection is just so much stronger and like that love is so much deeper. And I feel like she's not afraid to just fully love me and tell me how much she loves me and like give me my flowers all the time. Like she doesn't feel like there's just like some guard she has to keep up. And then also it's definitely a learning curve there where I had to realize like, all right, now you're dating somebody who is more on the emotional side. They're more like you. Cause like I used to only have to worry about my own emotions damn near in a relationship. I'm like, that hurt my feelings or whatever. You never really get that from a guy, you know? So now it was just like, oh, now I gotta be more conscientious of your feelings too.
Women are more sensitive to tones. And I know we are for sure.
Oh, for sure.
And we both find ourselves like not being able to get away with having little attitudes like how we could have like in past relationships with guys. No, like women ain't having it. It's like, why are you talking to me like that? Like,
yeah,
you know?
like before it's just like you could catch a little attitude. You could have a little attitude and it's like whatever, they just brush it off. And it's like, what? Don't talk to me like that. You know, now it's like, but I be the same way. So it's like I get it. I'm a woman, so I understand it. It was just like a learning curve.
Another thing I'll say about the sensitivity part, I feel like men may be just as sensitive or almost just as sensitive, but like I feel like it's a little more toxic with men where it's like they don't they don't like own it like women do. Like most women know that they're sensitive. We know that we're more empathetic because of it. It comes with the good and the bad, but I feel like guys never like to admit that they're sensitive.
So they might be sensitive about something that you said and not want to admit it, and then just be acting like an asshole, passive aggressive, bring it up later, or it's just kind of like, what? Yeah.
I think my favorite thing about dating a woman is women are so empathetic. I find myself feeling more fulfilled that way, you know, where I felt like I was seeking it more from men, where like I don't feel like I really have to seek it. She's just naturally very empathetic and
compassionate and like understanding.
That and I love how soft women are. I really do. And then I would say my least favorite thing would also be emotional. Yeah, because like it's hard, two emotional people being together. It's freaking hard.
It's not easy. It's not easy. But I think, you know, with me, you know, with some time under my belt, you know, you end up adjusting, you know, learn each other. And then you realize it's such a blessing to be with somebody who's emotional. But that means I gotta watch my tone or whatever. Like I would rather go with that, but the way that you love me and you give so much emotion to me and just like, that is so worth it.
Well, that's it, guys. If you want to see more content like this, let us know. I already know you're gonna want to. But let us know.
I already know.
This was fun.
It was fun. I had so much fun. Yeah, I hope you guys learned something. And also, like, if there's any guys watching this is no hate on you. This is just our experience. You might not be all the things that we mentioned.
Right, guys. Right. Because there definitely are men out there that are sensitive and empathetic and emotionally mature. We just ain't met them. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. All right, y'all. We out of here.